So welcome to Real Traffic, Real Easy. Flood your sites with visitors. Thank you for joining me. I'm Eamon Motin. I'm the General Manager for JonathanLeger.com. What we're going to look at today is a very simple technique for getting real people, actual visitors, to your site. And we're going to look at how to do this manually, because you can do this perfectly adequately manually. And we're going to look at some of the things to avoid. And I'm going to tell you about some of the test results that we've had in using a strategy for multiplying these results. From there, we're going to talk about scalability, because if you can generate traffic, well, guess what? You want to keep doing it, don't you? So most of us want traffic, and if you can get more traffic, you want even more. So just so we can get some kind of feedback from everybody, I will ask one or two questions at times. And I would like to have your genuine feedback. If you just put a little comment in the chat box or the question box. Anybody here not have as much traffic as they would like and would like some more? What's the feeling? You all want more traffic? If you just put yes, I'm seeing yeses coming immediately, of course. Okay, so the scalability is important for this, because once you get traffic, you've heard this phrase a million times, rinse and repeat. When you find something that works, you keep doing it. So let me just show you a couple of examples of the kind of things that you can produce using this particular traffic source. These are real examples, and they've been recorded over the last approximately 6 weeks. So you all know that the money is in the list. Everybody's heard that. Getting a subscriber list requires you to get visitors to some kind of web page somewhere where you give them an opt-in form, usually some kind of a bribe like an ebook or something free to download. But you've got to get people to that page first. This particular site was a brand new site, and from the 18th of June to the 22nd of June, 80 subscribers were added to a brand new mailing list. That was on a brand new site. And in doing that, that's pretty good. That's approximately 20 people a day. Now, if you can put 20 people a day on your subscriber list, a number of them will not be buyers. They'll just be what we call tire kickers. They want freebies and so on. But a number of them will become customers if you offer them good products. And 20 a day over a year, even if you weed out the ones that you don't really want, the freebie seekers, that adds up, right? I mean, that's a lot of people. Here's another brand new site. So this was set up again specifically for testing this technique. You can see the numbers there within, what are we talking about, 6 or 7 days, let's call it 7 days. In 7 days it generated real people visiting 2,711 times. Now these statistics are from cPanel, so you may not know how to access that yourself on your own sites. But if you look at the numbers here, the highlighted number says 2,711 visitors. That's cool, in a week. But if you look to the right hand side, so over here what we're seeing, these are the pages that were visited. So these people, 2,711, visited a total of 8,000 and odd pages. So that's something in the region of, I think it's about 3 pages per person. The significance of that is that this traffic is genuine because they're sticking around to look at the other pages on the site. There are techniques for getting traffic to a page where people will simply disappear as soon as they see the page. That's not very good traffic. But if you get people who come along and look at 3 or 4 of your pages, and in this particular case you can't see it, but in this particular example they were sticking around for about 1:30 seconds, that's engaging the visitor, and you're getting a chance to convert them into a customer or a subscriber, whatever the case may be. Here's another example. And this is starting June 17th, no visitors at all, and then 4 days later we're up to 448 sessions. I'm getting a couple of people saying that there are issues with the sound. Is everybody hearing this okay? It can happen, so you know, if you have a problem, then I may have to just ask you to watch the replay. So let me just put a note in for everybody here, because otherwise I'm going to keep getting this question. If the sound is poor, you may have to wait for the replay. There we go. Live action. So we're looking at starting with 0, and then as you can see there, we're getting up to 448 sessions, and actually at the bottom highlighted from Pinterest, just over 1100 sessions. And if you look at the session duration, it's an average of 1 minute 16 seconds. Now I'm being told that the volume has gone, so let me just see if I can change that for you, because I don't want people to be struggling to hear. Sometimes that can happen. I'm just going to increase that a little bit. Okay, I know for some people it may be a problem, but anyway. Okay, so look at that, 1 minute and 16 seconds. That's good. And the bounce rate at 76.79%, again, that's good. That means we're getting people staying. Here's another one. 4 days from starting a brand new domain. Let me just show you the figure. And I'm going to zoom in on this. 4 days after starting a brand new domain, 1,944 visitors. And these are unique visitors. Now, I don't know of any other way to get that many visitors to a brand new domain as completely fresh traffic. If you have a subscriber list, no problem. But that's the problem for most of us. We don't have massive subscriber lists, most people, in fairness. So to get 2,000 people in 4 days, unique individual visitors, that's absolutely stunning, really is. So here's another one. In 1 month, we're looking at 3,500 visitors. And we go on and on. I mean, just zoom in there for you. So this is real traffic coming to a real site. And you can build a following. So let me show you some of the examples here. Nearly 15,000 followers. That's a lot of followers. Here's another one. That's mine. I'm actually very conservative when I test these things. I don't like to test things at full speed because I think steady, slow and steady is better, because I want to be in this for the long term. Okay, the tendency for any automated tool or any technique is for people to use it too much and then it burns out. So I go steady. But look at that, nearly 5,000 followers, and you know, some of those are checking out my websites, and some of them are clicking on adverts and so on. So it's generating revenue. Here's another one, nearly 7,000 visitors, and another 16,000 and some. These are a lot of visitors. 8,273. But there's something else about this tactic that is even better. It's really fantastic. What you can do is multiply your efforts by having other people do the work for you. Okay? Allow other people to do the work for you by inviting them to pin to your board. That will get more people seeing your own pins, and the more that you have seeing your pins, the more links you're going to get, the more clicks you're going to get. So you can actually multiply your efforts without extra effort yourself, which is a pretty powerful technique to use. You have to be a little bit careful about doing it because you don't want people putting anything unsavory and so on. But allowing other people to contribute, it's social media in action, and it's something that people do naturally anyway on the other social media sites, Facebook, Twitter and so on. Just think how many times people share things. This is kind of the same thing. So let me just show you one other thing, and I want to talk about the results of this right now, because this is, the results are pretty, shall we say, they're pretty difficult to believe when you look at this. Okay, we've generated nearly 130,000 followers. That's to our personal accounts. The next bit is why it becomes difficult to believe, but I promise you what I'm about to show you is true. 130,000 followers in 6 weeks. Now that's pretty fast, right? You cannot do that any other way. Okay, so how is this done? Well, this is simply using Pinterest to get visitors. Okay, that's all it is. So we're going to do this. I'm actually going to do this live for you now and do some actual manual Pinterest following. And what I'm going to do is show you this on an account I have. It's a brand new account, and I'm just connecting to a server now so I can show you this. So I'm getting some questions which we'll deal with as soon as I can, but let me just show you this now. So this is Social Multiplier, which I'm going to show you a little bit later, but I'm actually going to use Internet Explorer for now, and I'm going to show you how to do this same thing manually. So I don't want the updates there. Let's just make this full size. There we go. So this is a board that I've created. This is brand new, and I think it was about 2 AM this morning when I did it. I've got to log in, so let me just do that now. And because I've got sensitive information, I'm just going to pause the screen while I do that, okay? Because obviously I don't want to show the login. So let me just do that now. So as soon as I've logged in, I'll unfreeze the screen and then you can see. So this is a personal Pinterest account, and I'm using a pen name, which is fine. That's perfectly acceptable. And I've got to find my password, so let's just do that now. And what I'm going to do is show you following and pinning, and those are the two things that are actually, you know, they underscore the entire thing, right? They underscore the entire process. So just bear with me, because as is typical when you do one of these things live, I'm having to find the password. And I had logged in earlier, but it's actually logged itself out, which is fine, not a problem. So let me just log this in now, and I'll be with you in a second, and then I can show you exactly how you do this. Now remember, what I'm going to show you is doing this manually, and it's pretty simple. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can do this, quite literally. So nearly logged in, great. Okay, let's unpause the screen for you. So here's an account. So I've got a pen name, pseudonym, and so on. Let me just show you what I've got. I've got a couple of boards on here with nothing on them, as you can see. I've got no pins, no likes, no followers, and I'm following 5 other people. So the first thing we want to do is find some other people to follow in this particular topic, this niche. What we're looking for is targeted visitors. Okay, so quite simply, you look for the same niche. So I'm going to do a search up here, and I'm going to look for skincare products, let's say. So any of the keywords that might relate to skincare, you can use those to find people who are in that kind of niche. Got quite a lot here. Miracle night cream, coconut oil. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So that's a pretty big pin. Yeah, I quite like that one. So let's just have a look. Okay, so she's got a lot of followers. Now that's an important metric to measure, because if they have a lot of followers, then following their followers can get you more followers back. Now this is a bit of a strange thing to think about, but when you follow other people, some of them will follow you back. So I'm going to follow this board. It's just, you know, click on it and then it's done. So that's done, that's fine. I can do another search for another keyword, let's say skincare, and I'm putting it as one word there, skincare cream. See what comes up, and we can do the same. And you would want to follow a number of people. Okay, I'm not going to go and follow thousands of people here, because it's just sitting watching me keying in terms and so on. But essentially that's all we're doing. We're going to go find some people. Let's have a look at that board and just follow them. So as you follow people, remember what I said, some of them will follow you back. Right? And even though some of these people are going to be your competitors, it doesn't matter. This is kind of a numbers game, so that in essence the more you follow, the more will follow you back, and some of them are going to look at your products. Now there are so many possible avenues with every niche that there's room for everybody really, but it is a numbers game, so you've got to do plenty of this. So what should we say? Let's follow this one as well. She's quite new, 70 pins, 115 followers. Okay, so far I've just done 2 follows. You'd do a lot more than this in reality. And now what I want to do is do a pin. So I've got to find an item to pin. I'm going to look for an image. A pin is just an image that you send to this board. It's like a collage. You're collating image boards where you're showing people nice images of whatever it may be, new products, you know, how to play golf, the latest golf clubs, good cameras in my case, I like those, whatever it may be. And in terms of following, the number you can follow isn't officially defined by Pinterest, but you know, if you follow too many, they consider it spammy. So this is why I said at the very beginning, slow and steady, I think, wins the race. And if you follow thousands of people a day, every day, day in out, that can look a little suspicious, because remember, you've got a life. You wouldn't be spending 24 hours a day following other people. But if you follow a good number, that's okay. I mean, certainly you can follow hundreds of people every day. Now, we've actually tested with following thousands, but there is a point at which too many is too many, okay? And I would say, you know, if you're not sure, just slow things down. So what I want to do now, let's just go here and we'll do a search for skin cream. So I'm going to look for some images. So let's have a look. Now I'm just looking at these fairly quickly, so let's have a look at the license. Public domain. I want to make sure I'm able to use these images, so well, that looks like an advertising image. I'm not sure that's public domain, but it's a good one. Now I'm getting a slow mouse image here because I'm actually running on something I'll explain about later, which is called a virtual private server. So that's pretty good. Maybe subject to copyright. Okay, so I'm not going to use that one. It is what I thought it was. Let's try that one. Okay, no problem there. So let's just see, there's two more image sizes. What size do we want? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm liking that one because actually that particular image is of something that everybody can use. It's pretty cheap, and so we can pin this. Okay, now let me just get out of that for a moment. So when you pin these, and you can see there's a lot of images that you can go for that single particular term. Go back to here. On your board, you will pin an image. Okay. And you can let me just install this quickly so I can save some time. Just bear with me while I do this. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds, but because it's on a different server, it wasn't installed. I've got it installed on my machine. Now, pinning. When you pin, and I'll show you in a second, you add a description and a link. So this is where you're actually going to get your traffic from. The description can be almost anything you want, so it can be as simple as this is some good night cream, or this night cream works particularly well, or I tried this and found it didn't work, whatever it might be. Within the description you can also put a link to a website or a page, an affiliate offer, a YouTube channel. Actually, the link can be to pretty much anything. The description is one link that you can get, right? So you've got a link there. You can also put a link for the image itself, and the image itself then becomes clickable. Now, I'm just getting a question about specifics on how many people you can follow each day. I'll come to that in a second for you. When the image is clickable, what you get is a link back to your site automatically. So somebody clicks on an image, and what will happen is it will take them to the site that you've specified. So I'm just going to open up another tab here, if you bear with me. I'm going to do this a little bit quicker on here. So you can see the pins here. Let me just show you. So stunning photos. Here's one. That one, I quite like that one. So this is an image that I found on a site called Board Panda, and the description can be anything you like. Okay, so let's just edit this and I'll show you what I mean. So the description in this case was just Board Panda, which is the website, but you could put things like, this is stunning, what do you think? So we're inviting people to comment. I have more images like this on my blog at. So you put in a link and you've got a description with a link as well. The image itself is clickable, and we can put that image to click through to any website we want to. So let me just put it to Amazon.com for argument's sake and save that and show you what I mean. So now if we just scroll down a little, what I've got is a description, and you can see that that is a clickable link to one website, and the image is a clickable link to another. Now there we go. So we've gone back to Amazon. So what I've got is the opportunity to link to 2 different places if I want to. Actually more than that, because you can put more than one link in the description, but I've got links that can go wherever I want them to. Now in this particular case, because I'm pinning an image, I can change the description, but if you want to use a fresh image that doesn't have a description already, then you can do that so that you're not treading on somebody else's toes. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You don't have to repin somebody else's image and change their link if you don't want to. The other thing you can do with the description is add to the description. So if I just show you what I mean, originally this was bored panda, wasn't it? So that's what we had originally. So we could, if you want to, put something like this: I found this at bored panda, and then continue the description with the rest of it, so that we're adding to the description rather than destroying somebody else's, and that's fine as well. So let me just click on save. So this one is now going to Amazon.com, that one is going to my website, so you've got multiple opportunities here to link to other things. Now I've got a question that I want to address pretty quickly, because it's how many is specifically okay to follow every day. If I give you a simple figure, people will go out and do that amount, and then that number of links and follows, and it looks artificial, because in real life, if you were doing this yourself manually, one day you might spend an hour and you'd follow 50 people and then not work on it for the rest of the day. Another day you might not touch it at all. On a weekend you might spend all day and follow 200 people. It really isn't a single number that's safe to use. The only thing I would say is, always with this kind of thing, what you're aiming to do is look as natural as possible. Image descriptions, that takes time as well, absolutely, but of course if we're generating traffic, you're going to spend time somewhere. Okay, so what I've got now is an image there. Let me just go back to my pins. So we've got a few pins on here, and here's another one, and that one you see, and let's have a look. So that one I just added, this part actually came originally from the image, and I've added that to the description. I like the look of this. It's as simple as that. And then I've got a link here to one of my other websites. So the description can be anything you want. You can take the current description if you're pinning an image from somewhere else. You can add to it, or you can overwrite the description and add your own completely from scratch. Mix and match the techniques. And if you were doing this, what I would call organically, you would mix and match. You would not do the same thing every time. So mixing and matching is pretty important. Okay, so in essence what we're talking about is doing this over and over and over. So the more you do it, the better. And when you've followed lots of people, let's say you followed 10,000 people, you would expect, or the numbers we're seeing, you'd expect to be seeing about 1,000 people following you back. It seems to be 8 to 10% of those will follow you back. That's a pretty high number. So for every 10,000 you're going to get 800 to 1,000 followers, approximately speaking. Okay, so that's fine, isn't it? That really is. Just one second. Just send a quick message to my guest, because we've got a guest coming today. Now that's all well and good. It's simple enough to do. It really is simple. All you're doing is pinning an image, adding a little description, and the description and the link can be whatever you want it to be. So let me just go back to this honeybee. I clicked the wrong image. I clicked send. Just a second. There we go. So the description can be whatever you want it to be, and you can link it to wherever you want. It doesn't have to be the same website all the time. Each of these images can be linked to a different page on your website. You get lots of variety that way, and traffic will come if they're interested in that image. So you can be kind of targeting multiple niches in that way. Now I'm going to actually invite somebody to join me for a moment, because there is a slight problem with doing this, and the slight problem is this, okay? It takes forever. Now here's an example, 20,000 pins. Here's another one, 16,000 pins. So how long is that going to take you to do? Well, I don't know how long it would take you to do. I think it would take me maybe a year, I don't know. Take me a long time, but anyway. So what I want to do now is invite a guest on he's just a normal guy, but he's been doing this for a while now, for about 6 weeks, and learning how to do this efficiently. And I'm going to give him a bit of a grilling on how he's got some good results, because he was the one, or one of the people, who produced some of those results you saw at the very beginning. Okay, those results were astounding. Remember, we got about 130,000 followers in 6 weeks. And the links that you can have can link to your website, or a landing page, or an opt-in page, or a YouTube channel. You can put a link to anywhere. Okay? Anywhere at all. Quite literally. So, what I'd like you to do is say, welcome to my guest, Ted Leger. I'm going to ask Ted to join us now. I've unmuted you, Ted. Now, before we talk to Ted, I just want to explain that Ted's not a guru. He's not a big marketing guru. He's just a regular guy like you and me. And I'm going to give him a hard time asking him exactly what he did. Are you there, Ted?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. So sounds good to me. Can everybody hear Ted? Just say hello again, please, Ted.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, they can hear. Sounds good. Excellent. That's great. Because we always have a potential problem with sound with two people if sounds... Yes, he's a Texan. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Ted is going to answer some questions, and I'm going to make him give you some background to what he's done and how and so on. Ted is actually Jonathan Leger's brother, but he's just a regular guy. He's not a computer whiz, okay? So the first question, Ted... Just tell us the experience of list building that you had before this. Did you have a list? Did you build a list? How did you build your list?
Well, I only have had one list in the past.
Okay. And
it was for my a woodworking site.
Okay. So how did you build that list?
We used a Facebook funnel to build it.
Now, when Ted talks about a Facebook funnel, you may not know what that means, but Ted, you're actually talking about advertising?
Yes, I had to use paid advertising for the funnel.
Okay, so you've bought subscribers. How much were you paying for that?
It was $100 a month.
Okay, just so that, because some people are going to be fainting now, $100 a month in advertising. But you built a list, so, you know, it is a business, and you sometimes have to invest in your business, of course. So, okay, $100 a month to build your list. With this list that you've built, because you actually did that 80 subscribers in 4 days, what did you do to build that list?
I used a social multiplier to build it, and I didn't have to... it actually built the list quite a bit faster than the Facebook funnel did.
Okay, so effectively then, all you did was you put a link to an opt-in page, is that right?
That's correct.
So your description and your link for the image would take people to a page where they can sign up to your list?
Yes.
Okay. And how much were you paying in advertising for that?
I wasn't paying anything.
Okay. Now let's just pause there for a second, because I want this to sink in. The previous list, you paid $100 a month to build that. This list, which you built pretty fast, you're paying nothing, but you're using an automation tool. That's a pretty good deal. Now, I've said that you're not a computer whiz kid and so on. So what was actually your previous job, Ted? Just tell us what kind of things you did before.
Well, for about a decade, I built outdoor furniture and sold it online.
Okay, so furniture maker, and I remember your site actually. I think there were about 3 pages or so, maybe 4. And
yes.
Some of them were kind of explaining the differences in wood. The only thing I remember about that is that you said cypress is a very hard wood, so it's good for outdoors. Is that right?
That's correct.
Ah, you see, I learned things from your site.
Hmm.
So really, it was a very small site. And how did you build that site?
I actually didn't build it. I had to get help building it because back then I had no knowledge of even where to begin on a website.
Sure. Now, Ted has been kind enough to let me say something about him to all of you, because he's the first person to admit that he's not a computer whiz kid in building sites and so on. But he's done fantastically well in building a list and getting opt-ins and sending out emails now using an automation tool. And the reason we're mentioning that is that if Ted can do it, as he will tell you, anybody can do it. This is not something that requires a computer science degree. This is something that's simple, and really anybody at all can do this. Even if you're a beginner, it just works. Okay? The only thing you have to do really is be careful not to overuse it, because, if we're honest, people get excited about things that work, and then they tend to do it too fast, and they can, follow 1 million people a day, and that just looks suspicious. So slow and steady, like we said a bit earlier. So you did pretty well, but how many Pinterest accounts did you actually use to run this?
I actually used 9 accounts.
So you've used 9 different Pinterest accounts. You've created a pen name for each. So how were you actually getting pins onto those? Because that sounds like a lot of work.
Well, no, it's actually not, because once you set up the schedules for each for every copy of Social Multiplier, once you set up the schedules, you can just let it be and it'll run itself.
Okay, so in that sense it is set and forget. And you said that you were running multiple copies. So that's basically the thing about the automation, is that it is possible to run as many of them as you want, for personal use of course, but you can run as many of them as you want. So this is where scalability comes in. You actually effectively multiplied your results by 9 times just because you used 9 copies of Social Multiplier.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now that's a lot of pinning, a lot of images. So how many did you have to buy? How many images did you actually buy?
I didn't have to buy any.
Okay, so where did you find them?
Well, the Social Multiplier tool will gather all the images for you in Bing.
Right, so you've got images that are found for you, campaigns that run automatically, and this is how you could manage to maintain and control 9 Pinterest accounts.
That's
okay,
correct.
Pretty good. So how did you work on that? Well, we kind of answered this already, but how did you work on so many Pinterest accounts? Well, you ran multiple copies on different machines, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now, in some cases, if you've only got a single machine, you might need to keep it scaled back. But there are ways to have multiple machines that you can control remotely for as little as $10 a month. And you can run more than one Pinterest account on a single PC. I mean, there are lots of advanced ways to do that. There are things such as proxies and all that kind of thing. So there are ways to multiply your results with a single machine. But generally speaking, the more you can scale this out, the better. So now I'm going to ask you a question which you've got to be careful how you answer because of FTC rules, and you don't have to give personal information because I know that's private. But here's a big question for you, Ted. Have you made any money?
Yes, I've made revenue from AdSense.
Okay, so you put AdSense on your site. Have you ever run AdSense before?
I have. It's been a few years. I've got multiple sites across the board, and I have run AdSense on most of them.
Okay, so has the revenue increased?
Well, I can tell you this. I haven't gotten a check from Google for AdSense in about 2 years.
Okay.
And for the first month of running Social Multiplier, Google is going to cut me a check for the AdSense.
In 1 month?
Yeah, the first month.
Now, I don't want to get into specifics because it's your personal business, and I mean, it's your private information. But Google and AdSense only send you out a check or direct deposit payment, in my case, if you make a certain amount in that month. So you've made at least that amount. So you're making money, and it's been about, you say, 2 years since you last had one from them?
It's been 2 years.
And this took a month.
Keep in mind that Google won't send you a check unless you have $100 or better in AdSense revenue.
Yeah, and so you've hit that at least in a month, and simply by getting people to your site. You can have the best site in the world, but until you've got traffic, there's nothing there. No traffic, no revenue. If you've got traffic without a site, no revenue. But if you've got a site, and I know most of you have, if you've got a site with some good content, you need to get people to look at it. Until they see it, nothing's going to happen. So getting traffic, and this is real traffic. These are real people. It's not robots. They go to the site, and then they'll see things. And because it's targeted, remember we said you can target this. Targeted visitors will convert better because they are already interested in what your topic is. If you have somebody clicking an image of a digital camera, for example, that's something I'm interested in, and they land on a site all about digital cameras, they're going to look around. I do. If you have somebody who's interested in makeup and cosmetics, guess what? They're going to look around. That's what I would do. Simple as that. So, basically, from your point of view, this was pretty simple. And if you were to tell people how easy it was, what would you say to anybody who thinks this might be more difficult than we're explaining? What would you say?
I'd say that to go ahead and rethink that, because Social Multiplier is one of the simplest tools to set up.
Yeah.
And it's just really easy to use.
It is, and I'm actually going to show people now just how easy it is to use on a new Pinterest account that I've set up. I set it up about 2 a.m. this morning, and when I checked it about a couple of hours ago, I'd had 55 visitors already today, which is, traffic from nowhere. I did 13 pins. I put 13 images. That's all I put. So it wasn't much at all. And as you know, Ted, because you told us, it's pretty easy to get images. I think you actually, on one of the campaigns you did, you had when you were doing the search, how many images did you find?
Actually, many a times for certain keyword groups, I would find 10,000 images or more.
10,000 images should keep you going for a while.
Yes, it will.
Great. Thank you, Ted. I appreciate you joining me and sharing that information, because I particularly wanted people to know that anybody can do this. Okay? Thanks, Ted. So I'll just mute you again now and we'll continue. So okay. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye. So very simple to use. Ted is the first person to admit he's not this big computer guy. Social Multiplier, which I'm going to show you in about 5 seconds, you can install on as many machines as you want to. You buy it once, and you can install as often as you want to, and you can use this for things like physical products, for services, for membership sites. It really is for anything, because there's people interested in everything. So Ted did this pretty easily. Now he might just be saying that, okay? So I'm going to show you, and what I want you to do now is pay attention to what you're about to see, because I think you may just be pleasantly surprised at this. Oh, that's mine, isn't it? Let me just get rid of that one and find the correct one. Where are we? Oh, here we go. There we go. So I was just installing something there. Let me get rid of that. So I'll just clean this screen up, and then you can be able to see what I'm doing. So what we've got... Oh, come on. Let's just get rid of Internet Explorer, shall we? And the task. Windows sometimes is a nuisance, but there you go. And by the way, I'm running this on something called a virtual private server, VPS. And if you don't have a Windows machine, you can get these services for about $10 a month. And you can even run this from an iPad and control it from there. So let's just get rid of this, put that out of the way. There we go. So now I've got a new account here, which is completely blank, and I'm going to log in. And this one I've done with a new domain. It's a burning domain because, you know, what happens on webinars, you show things and then people will go and destroy the site and do negative SEO and copy it and do all kinds of things. So I've done this one purely for demonstration. So I've got a single account here, and you can create as many profiles as you want. You can do searches for boards to follow from here, but the real power comes here. Now, let me just go through this real simple for you. The first one up top here is for following people so that some of them will follow you back. Rather than me sitting and clicking on names and following, I can have this machine do it for me, and I can set up a schedule to run as often as I want and follow as many as I want. Pretty good, okay? The next one is auto pinning. This is where I create the pins. I want to show you an auto pinning schedule first of all, so we'll do that and watch what happens. So we've got a number of different things that we can do. I'm going to put a keyword in, let me just see, skin care. And I'm going to find images with that particular keyword. And I'm going to do Creative Commons images, ones that I can use. I'm going to load the image previews. It's a little bit slower this way, but you'll see what happens. So let's find some images. Let's see how long it takes. In fact, no, let me just do that. I'll do it a bit quicker so you can see the numbers. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to explain a bit more to you. In here, I can put the names of the boards that I created, the link that I want to promote, and a description. And then I can specify how often an image will be pinned for me automatically. Now, that sounds like still a lot of work, doesn't it? But if I get, well, I've got 101 images there so far. This can pin 101 images for me automatically, and writing a description and putting in a URL should only take me a minute or two because I already know the sites I want to promote. But I can also spin this. Now, I was asked a question earlier about how do you write the descriptions in a way that will, you know, sound realistic and doesn't take forever and so on. The truth is, if you spin properly, you can put a generic description that will work for almost anything. It will work for almost anything. Now, it does make sense if your boards are kind of related, but if you pin to a specific board that is about golf, for example, and you're doing golfing stuff, that's fine. If you pin to a digital photography board about photography, that's fine as well, because let's face it, most of us have more than one interest, right? So on your boards, you may have multiple niches. That's fine. But for maximum effect, you tend to keep them closely related. And you would leave this running, you'd leave Social Multiplier running, and you can install that on as many machines as you want, remember. You can give it to your virtual assistant if you have one, let them pin for you, and set things up, so that's great. Now, this is finding a lot of images. Let me just stop that. 416 images that I don't have to go buy. Okay, so I'm going to pin to a board. Let's just have a look. What board will I say? So, for this example, I've got a board called Cool Skincare Tips. And the target URL, let's put something like, this is one of the example sites. So that's a site I've actually set up today that's already getting visitors from Pinterest. Now the descriptions could be, I like the look of this. That's a single description that would appear on every image, 416 images. Now that doesn't look natural to me or to anybody else. So I can put another description here. This seems interesting. Take a look. And I can write as many as I want to. But I can also do this with spinning, so that, for example, if I do something like this, and if you don't understand spinning, don't worry about it, because we're going to, as part of the process, with one of the bonuses, we're going to teach you how to spin. I like the look of this, and then let's see, so that would give me an option of two different descriptions. One says I like the look of this, the other one says I really like the look of this. I can do it even more. Let's change that. So now what I've got, whoops, just mistyped. What I've got now is I really think this is nice, or I really like the look of this, or I think this is nice, or I like the look of this. I've got 4 different descriptions on one line. So that means I can use spinning to have generic descriptions that will vary tremendously for each of the pins that I do, and so it won't look as artificial as just having one description on 5,000 images. It does take an extra minute or two to work out the spinning, of course, right? But once you've done it, you can reuse it time and time again, because that doesn't even tell you anything about what the topic is. It just says it looks nice. That could be a butterfly, it could be a golf cart, it could be a camera, it could be... Now, remember that this is a Windows application, so if you wanted this to work with a Mac, you would need to get yourself a virtual private server, $10 to $12 a month, and you can then even, I've actually done this myself in testing, you can run it from an iPad. You can run it from your Mac, an iPad. It's kind of incredible, really. It's quite cool to do that. Now, if you've got images of your own, then I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment, because if you've got your own images, that's even better. But if you don't, here they are. So these 416 images, let me just load them. You'll see them appear in a second or two. What they will do is, I mean, there's lots of them, as you can see. They'll be pinned for me, and what I'm going to do is just put this up to about every 6 minutes. You can pin every 3 minutes if you want to, but ask yourself a simple question: how often would you pin if you were doing this yourself manually? Nobody sits at a computer 24 hours a day pinning every 3 minutes exactly. So, you know, randomize it a little. So what I've got now is the board that it's going onto. I've got the board here. I've got the target URL, the link I want to promote, this website, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and I've got some descriptions. And I'm going to pin with a description every time. If I want to have a description every other pin, click on 2. If I want to pin only once every 3 times with a description, click on 3, and so on. So you don't even have to add your own description every time if you don't want to. The description will be taken from the image itself. So let me save this. And that's going to start immediately. So you'll see that will pin one for me in a minute or so. I've got a couple of questions which I'll take right now. So any plans for a Mac version? No. Did I create the board cool skincare tips earlier? Yes, I did. You have to create your boards first, and you can create as many as you want. I would recommend that you create maybe 5 or 6 so it looks realistic. If you just do a single board, it looks a little bit spammy, to be honest. And then when you're doing these pinnings, that's already pinned one. Look at that. Let me just pause it now. So if we go here, okay, so if I just click on my website now and show you my boards, it's a little bit slow, so you'll have to bear with me. Yes, I've seen those. Let me get to my boards. Come on, Pinterest. There we go. So I've now got one pin, and I'm following an extra couple of people because I did that earlier. Okay. Now, if I have multiple pinning schedules, I can randomize them here so that it will take different ones at different times, and that means I can pin to one board now, and then the next one might be a different board. So I can build all the different boards nice and evenly so that they're not all the images are in one board. But there's even more power, because if I go back into the schedule, and you can change this as often as you want to, this thing here, this field, allows you to spin the boards. So what I can do, let me just get one of the other boards that I've got. So I've got one called skincare products. So if I do this, look, this is pretty simple. That will randomly pin to one of those boards with every image, so that I'm going to build up 2 boards automatically. And if I had 3 boards, I can put 3 boards in there. If I have 5, 7, 9, I can pin randomly to one of the boards each time this runs, and at the moment it's running every 6 minutes, remember. So that's a great time-saving tool, because all you need to do in reality is create a single schedule, and it will take care of all your boards. Now that's pretty simple, right? I mean that is pretty simple. So pinning is great, that gets images and that's what makes people click. Following, let me just do this now, is important because this is how you get people to follow you back. Remember, we're seeing between 8 and 10%, roughly speaking, will follow you back. And they're the ones who are going to see your pins, click on your links, but even better, their followers will see your pins as well if they're following you. So let's just put in a skincare products. So I'm going to be following people who have skincare products as a keyword somewhere on their boards. I can run this, let's say, every 2 hours or 3, and don't follow 300 people an hour. I would go 100, 150, nice and steady. It'll keep building for you every day, but if you do too many, it looks suspicious. So I like a nicer, slower run and let it build over a little bit longer time. If you want to unfollow people who haven't followed you back, look at that. Check the box. Anybody who's not following me back isn't giving me links. I want rid of them. This will do it for me automatically. So we click OK. I've got a schedule. I want to pause that immediately just so I can explain this. So that will now run every 3 hours and follow people for me, and that will have the effect of getting me some followers automatically. No, at the moment you can't randomize the time. If it's 6 minutes, it's 6 minutes. I am pushing for that to be changed so that we can randomize the time, but right now if you say 6 minutes, you get 6 minutes. If you want to set up for multiple accounts, you can create a new profile, put in the details here for the login to Pinterest. If you're using a proxy, you can put the proxy details in here, and then on your drop down you choose the account you want to work with. On the schedules, let me show you, you do the same thing. You choose the account you want to work with, put in your keywords and so on. Nice and simple, pretty easy. Okay. Now, let me show you an actual account where, which one is it? I'm trying to find the, yeah, there we go. So I've got a website here which was set up about 2 AM this morning. Which I was tired when I did it, but there you go. So let's have a look. I've put a couple of articles on there. I've actually taken these from Article Builder. So we've got some articles, and I've got a few pages with affiliate links in them. Now, let me just show you this. So if I promote this page, this is an actual live Amazon affiliate link with add to cart, a nice image, the description. As it happens, I've built that automatically. Right? So let me show you what we do. If you want to send people to somewhere that's going to make you money, you've got to give them something that they can buy, right? Or sign up or opt in. So you can have an article here that talks about top tips and then embed an opt-in form. So if you want tips every week, latest fashion trends or whatever it may be, sign up here. That's cool. If you want to send to a direct affiliate link, let's have a look at that one. There's another one. Now, I'm going to do something that I want to show you. I've got, let's see, I think it's something like 15 pages, 16. I'm going to create, let's do about 100, yeah, let's do about 111 new pages that are affiliate links to Amazon products in the skincare niche. Now, it could have easily been golf or digital cameras or whatever. I'm going to open a special file, check that box. Let's put this on a new group ID and use the file name as keyword. Don't worry too much about why. Click on here. So I'm now going to create a number of pages that are linked to affiliate products on Amazon. So let's just import the links, and it's going to take a few seconds, but you know, we'll be patient. I've got a question. How long does the unfollow wait before it unfollows those who are not following? Well, you actually set up a schedule for the unfollowing, so you can have it check every hour or every day or whatever you want it to be. So you specify the time scale. And I've got a question, do you need proxy to run this? No, if you're running multiple copies, with multiple accounts, it can be beneficial to do that, absolutely. But it depends how many you're running, and the more sites you have to promote, the more copies of Social Multiplier you would want to use for maximum effect. Remember, once you've got Social Multiplier, you can install it on as many machines or virtual private servers as you like. So I'm going to show you importing your own images in about 2 minutes, because we're going to do this here. So this is actually doing some work now, and it's creating pages for me. So while we're doing that, one of the tricks I did earlier for finding images is to put in a keyword and do a search in Social Multiplier. So if you use a keyword tool, I use keyword K9 myself, you can generate a whole batch of keywords that are related to your main topic. And if you put those keywords in the image search, that's where you can end up with thousands of images, like Ted was saying. In his case, he got, in some cases, 10,000 images, and pinning those, every 3, 5, 10 minutes, will last you a long time. You can have this so that you don't have to touch it again for a month, if you want to. You can even have it reuse images when it gets to the end. So after you've got 10,000 images pinned, it will start again. And the truth is, most of the people who've clicked through to your site probably aren't going to keep clicking through every time they see a new image, so they're not likely to notice that you're repeating images. Okay? And that's a very powerful tactic, because when you've got a lot of images, that means you could leave it running and not need to mess about with it for months, if you want to do it that way. So the more images you have, the better. Now, I've created 110 Amazon pages, and that took what, 2 minutes? Now, let's have a look. Just reload. So here's a lot of pages. I created 110 affiliate linked pages. And this is my plugin, and I'm going to tell you something about it in a few minutes. Look at this. So I don't know what that is. Water, interesting. That's an affiliate link. Let's add to cart. If we click on here, read more, or here, I'm going to be taken to Amazon. That is now cookied with my affiliate link. Okay, and I've got a lot of pages. In fact, let me just show you the pages. 126 now. We had 16 before. Now here's something that's even more amazing. Let me show you this, because this I'm very proud of. This I love. Click on here. Click on here. Download. And somebody's just said you don't need to worry about search engine optimization. Absolutely correct, because you're getting direct traffic from Pinterest. Now, let me just do something. What I'm going to do, and I did it quickly. I didn't even tell you what I was doing. I downloaded the Amazon pages. So now when I go to my Social Multiplier here, let me create a new schedule. This is for pinning. Now watch this. This is so simple and so fast, it's unbelievable. And we're going to put this, let's see, what board shall we put this on? I'm going to put this on the skincare products board, because that makes sense. I'm going to import the images. I just forgot to do something, bear with me. There we go. I'm going to import the images from the file that I've just created in my blog, and you saw how quick it was. Now, what I want you to notice is that I've clicked a couple of things, that's all. I'm doing nothing else. I'm not touching the keyboard, the mouse, or anything. I'm going to get 110 images loaded, 121 in fact. I'm going to get the URLs loaded for me of my specific pages, right? And now, let's just make this every 10 minutes. And we'll remove the pinned images, because I don't want them to be duplicated in this case, because these go to a specific page. Save that, and that's now running. Let's just pause it. That will link to my 120 pages with Amazon affiliate links in them, and it took me literally a few seconds by using this rather cool tool. called Monetize Me. Now Monetize Me, by the way, allows you to do all kinds of other things. So you can create all kinds of text links. And will the correct image link to the correct page though? You bet it will link to the correct page, and it has the description of the page as well. It's all done for you. Now you can also create text links, which is great for internal SEO. Is absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're not linking to Amazon affiliate links, we're linking to my site here. That's the beauty of this, we're linking to my site. Now if I wanted to create a new let me create a new link. You can also use this tool for creating individual adverts if you want to. Let's just do a pop-up ad. And if you wanted to search for skin care cream and you wanted to do an individual specific product page, let's have a look. This is actually connecting with live with Amazon and finding them for me. They're cheap, I don't want those, I want something expensive. That one. Click there, that creates an advert. Okay. And this advert, let me just show you, will appear everywhere that term exists on my blog. The blog is potentially has thousands of pages. Any page or post that has that term will show an advert as a hover advert for that product, and it can be used for any kind of affiliate link. It doesn't have to be just Amazon. Okay, so this can do all sorts of things. I've put skin cream. You could just as easily put weight loss, or you could put skin care or skincare products. If that specific keyword appears on a post, this particular plugin will make that a clickable link for you for the posts and pages you have now and every page you ever create in the future automatically. Pretty good, right? You can also do image links if you want to. Okay, so there's plenty you can do with that, but you know. Now, what else can you link to? Well, you can also link to specific videos. If you have a YouTube channel, here's my YouTube channel. To be honest, I don't bother with it these days because I'm bored with it, but I did reviews on there. That one, 7,500 views of a cheap camera lens. I could promote that through Pinterest, and then on the YouTube description itself, I can have a link to an affiliate link for that product or to a blog post or whatever. So I can even do tiered linking. Tiered linking. Right? I can do affiliate links, I can do YouTube channels, I can do my blog posts, and here's something else you can do. Now this is quite cool. If you're using something like this, when I did this import thing, you can actually put in there's a special format, but you can put in the file of Amazon links or whatever the links may be. You can put somebody else's affiliate link. Think about what that means. That doesn't make sense, does it? Well, I'm going to tell you something private now. Some of the links that I have on my various websites, right, I put my wife's affiliate link so she gets the money. And every month she gets a payment through PayPal. She's rather happy about that, okay? I'm going to be doing the same for my kids because they're going to be going to university next September. So I'm actually going to put affiliate links for them that it will go straight to their PayPal to help them with the expenses. Right? So that ability to put other affiliate links in there might be useful in a family circumstance. All right, normally you wouldn't use somebody else's affiliate link, but you know, if you've got kids and you want to build a nest egg for them, why not? So as you saw, we got these pages. Now let me just show you something else that I really like. Okay, I'm going to do another page and then I want to tell you something really cool. So this little thing that I'm putting here is a super cool, clever thing. It's only for Amazon, so let me publish that page. I'm going to view the page. Nothing there. Not very good. So let me go to Amazon.com. Let me find, I don't know, what should we find? I'm going to find weight loss, okay? And when you see what this means, this is going to be kind of, you're kidding me, because this is kind of astonishing. So I'm just getting this thing called ASIN. Now, this particular link that I put in, dead simple to do, but the bit here will determine what shows on this page. And I can send different people to this same page and make sure that every one of them gets a different result. This is being done dynamically. Now, if I go for a different product, that's blue, so that will stand out. Now remember, you can have lots of links in Pinterest. So this thing here, if I change it now, watch what happens to the page. Different product. So pretty powerful, isn't it? But the benefit of this only exists if you can get traffic to the site. So simple, as I said, that's one of the ways Ted did this. Now let's talk about Social Multiplier, because what I want to tell you is what you're going to get here. What do you get? Okay, first thing you're going to get is an unlimited license to use Social Multiplier for personal use, but that includes your virtual assistant. And guess what else? You can sell these links if you want to. You cannot give Social Multiplier away, but if you can create links on demand to a specific web page, you can sell that service. You also get 2,000 royalty-free images, and there are 5 sizes of each. That's worth a couple of $100. You're getting access to a 3D ebook cover maker, because you need something to give away for people to get on your opt-in list, subscriber list, and ebooks are still the best way to do that, but a nice cover makes a difference. If you can create a nice looking cover, it helps people to sign up. So you get that as well. But you also get the plugin that I've just shown you, Monetize Me, and that's worth $97. Now you can use this for anything. It can be physical products or services. If you had a service, let's say it was a legal service or an accountancy service, you've got to use a bit more creativity and think about kind of images that might make people interested, because people on Pinterest have every interest under the sun. Some of them are having a divorce, some of them have legal issues against them, some of them are being sued. They're on Pinterest looking at things, and they have the same interests as everyone else. So it's just another place where you can get eyeballs to a website. So you get Monetize Me, and you can use that not just with Social Multiplier to make it quicker to get links there, but you can use it to monetize your blogs on every post and page and do internal SEO linking. And that's the one I've just shown you where I created those Amazon pages. So it will instantly create those pages for you. So let me just recap on this, because we've gone through quite a lot. Okay, so what you're going to get is Social Multiplier, which is normally $97. You're going to get nearly $300 worth of stock images that you can use if you want to. Remember, you can do searches, but having your own images that you can manipulate and add things to, put a little logo on, watermark it, whatever, that's useful. You get the ebook cover maker, which will make 2D and 3D ebook covers. You get the Monetize Me plugin with a 10 domain license. So that's a total real world value of about $611. But right now, until midnight Friday, the 3rd of July, you can get this for $67. It's an annual fee, $67, and Social Multiplier allows you to run that on as many machines as you want to. And you can see there everything that you get with it. So what I'm going to do, just to make it easy for you, because this is really a superb deal, it really is, and I have to say that John twisted my arm tremendously to get Monetize Me in there, so you're getting a massive bargain. I've just put in the chat box the link to where you can get hold of this. At this price it will sell fantastically well, but you've only got until midnight Friday the 3rd of July to do this, so go straight there. This is where you go, learnfromjohn.com/social multiplier. And remember, you've only got until midnight Friday the 3rd of July. Don't miss out the deadline, because it is a strict deadline. Tomorrow, 3rd of July, your chance disappears. Thanks again. See you all next time. Bye now.